I have a Samsung Galaxy Note and an iPhone 4S. And the title of this video is What I Hate About the iPhone. And my next video is going to be What I Hate About Android. So if you're a fan of either of them, you can watch both and see what you think. But first thing I hate about the iPhone is that it looks just like every other iPhone. And you know what? It looks just like the older iPhone. I've got an old 3G here, old and crunchy, and that home screen hasn't changed in 3 years. The screen size, that hasn't changed either. All the little square icons, they still look the same. Why would I want to buy a phone that looks exactly the same as it did 3 years ago? Why would I want to buy a phone that looks exactly the same as everybody else's iPhone that they have in their pocket? It's ridiculous. Apple needs to get with the times here and update either their hardware or their interface or both to give people some variety and some choices. So that's the first thing. Get this guy out of the way. The second thing that I hate about the iPhone is that it feels very limited in what you can do, especially with things like pictures. You can't share things and use multiple applications at the same time that's integrated with the operating system like you can with Android. An example would be if I go to my camera roll, so I go and find my photos, wherever those are, right? And here's a picture I took. Let's say I want to share this to Google+. Well, if I go to share, I can email it, I can message it, I can tweet it, I can use it as wallpaper. There's no option for Google+. So I'm sure that's built into the actual Google Plus app, but I want that control from my photo directly. And an example of that in Android is if I go to the gallery and I go to the camera and I click on a picture I took the other day with my shoes, if I go to the share button up here, I get a nice drop-down menu of all the options that I can do, right? Facebook, Google+, Twitter, Gmail, my work email, I can create an S-memo, Picasa, I can Bluetooth it. You can compare the options here between Android and iPhone. There's no question, and if I had other apps that integrated, like Dropbox or other sharing applications, those would show up in this list as well. So that's probably the thing, one of the things that annoys me a lot about iPhone. The other thing that annoys me about iPhone is the lack of Google Voice integration. I got a Google Voice message, text message just now from my wife. It shows up in my notification. I also got it here, but there's significant lag with the iPhone. And so things show up and the app works, but it's not neatly integrated with the operating system like it is with Android. I can text very easily. I can call very easily. It uses my Google Voice number to place calls directly from the dialer app, which is good. I need a standalone app to do that with the iPhone. So if you're a fan of Google Voice and you use Google Voice for its money-saving features or for its free texting, it works okay on the iPhone, but it works a lot better on the Android. The other thing I really hate about the iPhone is the lack of desktop customization. I want some widgets, okay? I want some user interface that I can change. I want some customization, right? I want to be able to add a widget, anything that the phone or the OS will allow me to do, and I want quick access to stuff. If I click on widgets, I want to be able to do cool things like add a calendar, right, and see my calendar. I want to be able to, scroll over and quickly go through my Facebook news feed, right, or click on Facebook and get directly to the app. iPhone, it's stuck on the same squares, right, with no customization. Okay, so I can make, little groups of apps if I want to move this guy on top of him, but so what? I want to be able to do better customization. I want to be able to have a blank slate and create the home screen that I really want and that I really can use. The other thing that really irritates me about the iPhone is the lack of a decent Maps application. And what I'm specifically referring to is contextually aware mapping. And so we see that my location is accurate on both of these up here in Anchorage, Alaska. And if I want to go, let's say, and I broke down on my bike and I saw some good bike shops that looked pretty decent over here by Huffman Road, and there was a couple of them. There was Paramount Cycles and there were chain reaction cycles. And so maybe I want to check out the reviews. And so maybe there's something else in the area that I could check out as well. So if I zoom in, right, on both of these, I see paramount cycles and chain reaction cycles. Okay, there's chain reaction. If I click on it on the iPhone, it doesn't do anything. I can't get any contextual menu to see anything about reviews or hours or the phone number or anything. Now, on the Android, if I click that, not only do I get a menu that brings up navigation, reviews, phone number, but I also get other cool stuff. I get different, I get the website. I can then jump over here to look at the other bike shop that's across the street. Chain reaction, click on them. I get photos from different users. I get their reviews. So this is a lot more user-friendly. This is a lot cooler. It's a lot better. You're not stuck just having a dumb map that's totally useless in terms of what you can look at and poke around on. Yeah, I can see where I am, but maybe I want to see what else is going on around me. Maybe I want to look for points of interest. Maybe I want to navigate somewhere. So that's one of the things that really bugs me about the Maps application in the iPhone. Okay, the last thing that I hate about the iPhone, or at least the last thing for this video that I hate about the iPhone, is the fact that you can't adjust the keyboard. You know, if I've got big hands or fat thumbs and I want a bigger keyboard or a different keyboard, I'm stuck. You know, I'm stuck with this silly stock keyboard that may or may not work great for me. You know, everybody's got the same one, and Apple assumes that everybody's hands are the same, which is ridiculous. But on Android, just like everything else, that's completely customizable. Right now, I have what's called a thumb tablet keyboard, and I can load as many different types of keyboards as I want. This one's cool because it has arrows, and so I can move my cursor around with the arrow keys. But in a flick of a finger, I can actually change my input method and go and use swipe, which is another cool keyboard which a lot of people have seen. And so I can now slide my finger across and spell words rather easily. And so if I don't like that, I can go back and I can actually change it to something else. I can change it to the Chinese input keyboard or whatever is included on this ROM. There's also Google Voice typing, right? So I can type with my voice really easily. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. There we go. So anyway, that's pretty slick. When you can change lots of things about Android, you can change lots of things to your heart's desire. There's customizable everything. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Don't mind the cat on the table, and we'll talk to you soon.